Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Welcome to Today at the Races here at Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker alongside Keith Fuson. Keith, we are 2 days in. This is our third day of live racing. Thus far, have we noted anything about the track? You were saying it playing pretty evenly. I have to concur.
I think it's playing evenly on the main track. The turf course, we talked about it yesterday. We're going to have it again today. Inner part, the all along, a little firmer. I think we're going to go firm ground on that one to start. The Dahlia, 52 feet, the rail, we're going to start it good. We've noticed the difference on the turf course. Main track looks good, fast and fair.
Yeah, I must admit that the action that we've seen thus far, it's been an absolute treat. 9 live races coming up again today. But in exactly 1 week, we have a lovely stakes weekend coming up, highlighted by the Francis Dash Grade 3 race, which is about 4 stakes races coming up for 12:40 p.m. post as usual. Frank J. de Francis Memorial Dash. So much to look forward to once again, as well as Canter for a Cause. We've been talking about this. It's in aid of the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. I was having a look. Apparently there's a couple of different groups that you can go into. What is it? The Seabiscuit group, and based on if you want to canter or just trot or in hand with your pony. How good is that?
I guess, you know, it's the level of riders. Obviously, there's different level of riders, and that's perfect to give somebody, every person, an opportunity of all talent levels to enjoy that trip around Pimlico.
Yeah, terrific event coming up. I'm really, really looking forward to it. One of the many events organized by the Maryland Jockey Club in aid of these terrific charities. And of course, Pimlico Racecourse, historic racecourse, who wouldn't want to set foot on that? Let's have a look at the current track condition. Beautiful sunny day out here at Laurel Park. I'm afraid I can't see the temperature right now, but feeling-wise, 73 at present, fast and firm, I just got told, which is terrific news because, you know what, we've had some beautiful weather for these first couple of days.
Yeah, and I think we've got a stretch of good weather ahead of us, so we're going to take advantage of it, ride it out while we can. And talking about yesterday's card, too, I mean, the handle shot up. And we saw some great prices, too. Yesterday's card and all the way through the rest of this weekend. Value galore here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we can find some value here again today. Definitely have you on hand to help me with that. Let's dive into this card. We'll start with the first race of the afternoon. Of course, race 1, mile and an eighth on the turf. I must admit, the card is highlighted by turf action today. Looking forward to that?
I am. I think there's, you've got the bigger fields, the opportunity to kind of decipher. A lot of horses go back on some turf form, some back turf form. We've got horses turning back in distance, some horses stretching out. You got to look at the breeding. That's the variables that come with turf racing. But when you do your homework, you really can be rewarded.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's dive into this
Okay.
first field. Maiden special weight for maidens 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, mile and 8 the distance, as I just highlighted. We have a video spotlight on the number 1 Neotropic. Jimmy Toner trains. This is a first-time gelding angle, but we're looking back at his effort at Gulfstream Park, which was quite a while ago, 13th of March, where he basically did have his work cut out for him. But once in the clear, he ended up running down really, really strongly. Now, both of us are trying to have a look here to see exactly where we are with the race. If anyone can come up to help us change the TV, that would be absolutely lovely. But I can see it in the distance there, and I did like what I saw.
Yeah, those horses able to work out a trip. Found a seam from between horses through the final eighth of a mile, and it really kicked on nicely. At a mile and eighth, the same distance today, a real head scratcher off a little bit of a layoff at Monmouth Park last time at 5-2. Did not get it done. This afternoon, though, reports as a first-time gelding. Going to be a shorter price. I think I'll use underneath. I'm going to try to beat this one with a couple horses. I like the 6. What Does It Take is going to be my top selection in the 4 Silk War. But What Does It Take is an interesting horse for me. Finally going to get to the grass. Wanted the grass last time out at Colonial. Unfortunately, it was off the turf that afternoon, but a pretty good effort. First time Lasix. Second off of a break. I'm looking at the breedings by Munnings. Munnings can handle anything. It's the bottom side I like. This mare, Vilsam, was a mare we saw run around here quite a bit. Formerly trained by Dickie Small. Dylan Smith, our friend Dylan Smith, trained this mare for a while. She was 4 for 27, graded stakes placed. This is what the doctor ordered for What Does It Take. There's not a lot of flow in here. I expect this guy to be forward a long, long way, and you might sneak away with an okay price. I see the early money, the yellow sign there on the odds with the 6 horse, but hopefully we can get maybe 3 or 4 to 1.
Yeah, definitely everyone's starting to pay attention to this Michael Trombetta training, because even though that was an off-the-turf event, like you said, wanted to get him on the turf, he still rated and came home pretty decently. So if you can translate that to the turf, we are definitely in business. I used the number 1 on top, Neotropic. We just saw that replay there. I also used Handfoot underneath here, because if you look back at that Bald Eagle Derby race, we've talked about this a couple of times now. Indian Lake seemed to have stolen it from the front. Wootton Asset came back to then win the Grade 3 VA Derby at Colonial. It was just a bit of a tricky race. Now, I love the cutback for him. I didn't really think he was visually that encouraging in the Bald Eagle Derby, but you know what? They were going quite the distance there, mile and a half. So I think that this mile and 8 trip here is just going to put him in better stead. At least we know that he's coming in here with a little bit of that fitness under his belt.
Absolutely, and we had a horse come out of there. I think run okay in an allowance race. The O'Dwyer horse. The name was it Take Profit? Maybe ran all right. So yeah, back in here against Maidens. Staying power, they went slow early. Indian Lake was able to dictate. I don't think this horse is going to be right up near the lead, maybe a few lengths out of it, but stamina certainly in his favor. Silk War interests me as well. Eddie Graham, you always got to pay attention when Eddie Graham brings a runner to Laurel, especially on the turf course. I'm looking back. You got 4 winning siblings, none on the turf, but look at this. His only first-time starter on the turf in Maryland. He did this a couple years ago. I remember this precisely.
Good memory you have.
Pepper Sprout. It was May at Pimlico at 18-1. The big fig overcame some trouble. When he comes in here with a horse like this, he means business. It's going to be well prepped. I'm not worried about the distance when it's trained by this guy. So, yeah, I'm going to use the 4. I'm going to use the 6. One of these two to key up and upset the favorite.
Definitely intriguing race. Race number 2, maiden claimers, 25,000 to 20,000, 5.5 furlong. Also on the turf here, we'll start with your top selection, which is the number 5. First-time starter, Everclear for trainer Mary Ebler. Angel Cruz aboard, has got the work tab underneath him. Definitely, they've been patient with him. They've really, a lot of those 5 furlong moves that we both really, really love. Yeah. I kind of just left them off here because there's a couple of horses in here that just kind of grasp my interest a little bit more. But I see why you wouldn't take a chance.
Yeah, you've got some horses in here that are showing a little bit of ability, not bringing that final finish. Mary Epler's going to have a horse fit and ready to go. No, she does not win a ton first time out, but this guy here, you've got a 4-year-old, 3 months away from being 5. The owner spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of patience. You get a horse like this ready to go. You want to win right off the bat. 18% is Constitution with the first-time starters. Let's look at the bottom side. The mare 3 for 5 with 2 seconds. great record, and I think ran well. I think in was a stakes winner as well. So I think Everclear is going to be ready. The family bought out of those foals, 5 starters, 2 first-time starters, got the job done. So I'll go with Everclear.
Terrific stats there. I use a horse that has got a fair bit of experience, Billingsgate, just on his outside. The number 6, Kinder Kermooch, takes the ride there for Michael Gorman. I think he's going to be one of the projected pacemakers in there. He was 3 wide last time out at that maiden 40 level. He kind of made that sharp move around the turn to take over, but kind of lacked the needed punch for that level, because I didn't see him really tiring. He just got out-kicked there late. He was just simply not accelerating like some of the others were. So dropping down to this level, I think is going to help him.
That's a perfect. The way you said that was just perfect. When you look at the running line, you're thinking, oh, this horse faded a little bit, kind of gave way. Short comment I gave is grudgingly. Grudgingly means he's really kind of trying, but just unfortunately giving up a little bit of ground late to a horse that was just running slightly better. American Doro comes back and runs big, so certainly that race flatters the effort for Billingsgate.
Yeah, definitely. American Doro nearly got the job done. I think it was Tim's price play and just missed out there. I was watching that race. Definitely franks the form as well. Both of us used the number 4, FOMO, for trainer Elizabeth Merriman. Horatio Caramana's on board. He actually also just kind of missed out in that last race at Delaware. Rallied late, only missed by half a length, whereas the race before he just got in a little bit of traffic trouble. So I guess this is also a gelding that's looking for some racing luck.
Exactly. A slighter edge visually when I saw the races comparatively, Billingsgate to FOMO. I think the one you've got to keep an eye on. Reported first-time gelding here, Dream Happy. Took a little play, first time in the barn, of a slight layoff on the turf. Unfortunately went quick, got caught in a duel. This horse could carry it a long way here today. The Dream Happy, the one for Robbie Bales.
I use him underneath as well, because definitely an angle there, first-time gelding, and has shown a little bit before, and I like the way that he showed a fair bit of speed, just used up too much energy there early, so maybe a bit more of a conservative ride will suit him today. Race number 3, first level allowance for fillies and mares 3-year-old and up. 1 turn mile here, Keith. Look, I like it. I think it's a terrific layout that we have here. It's quite idiosyncratic to Laurel Park with that second wire. Not many tracks that have that 1 turn mile. I landed on the number 4, Sweet Home Dixie. I know you have her underneath. I just think she's the type that's going to enjoy this second wire. She's capable of closing game. We know that Hamilton Smith can certainly land one at hopefully maybe some value.
Yeah, she's going to have to get back to some of her better races, but it could be the offing today at the mile distance over a track that she just loves. You see the record, 6 for 12 and 3 for 10 at the distance here. So, yeah, I struggle with this race. You had the scratch of My Girl, who I think is going to run tomorrow in a sprint.
Yes, race 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe her race to lose on the front and even stretching out. I'll take a shot with thinking. It's just an odd horse. You're kind of been all over Kentucky Downs, Keeneland, Colonial, but we're going to go second off of a pretty big break. Second time Lasix, first time Lasix on the dirt. I see this field a little devoid of speed, and you go back to that score at Keeneland. Okay, 3rd place finisher. Now we're keying up and reaching maybe a little bit. That horse was second in the Black Eyed Susan, if you remember, for Steve Asmussen. Willful Woman. This might be a horse that just falls through the cracks a little bit from a price standpoint and gets to the front. You saw his horse run big yesterday, an improvement, second time. I think thinking might go a long way up front.
I definitely think that she's incredibly intriguing here. I was looking back at that 7 furlong race. She obviously hasn't been as capable since, but if she returns to that form, it can be very, very dangerous as well. As we move along to race number 4, a fair bit of a video replay, as well as the start of the Rainbow Pick 6 and the start of the Middle Pick 4. You created a Middle Pick 4 ticket. Let's have a look first at how you want to play it before we dive into my Rainbow Pick 6.
Yeah, hope you were on board yesterday for the early Pick 4. Pat myself on the back a little bit.
What did I end up paying? $135?
$135 for the $16 investment. We always like a little bit more, but you know what? I'm not going to sneeze at that. It helps pay the bills. But $36 today. We're going to go a little bit deeper here with the ticket. Race 4, 1, 4, and 8 to get you started. Awesome Jazz is going to be a short price. She doesn't have to win, so I'm going to spread around a little bit there. Race 5, it gets interesting here. 2, 4, 8, and 10. Nelliesford and Evis comes out of that race. They come out of the race at Colonial. They're going to be around a long way up front. A little price play. Cousin Joan Reynolds with a horse in here. Something magical I'm going to use as a price play. Race 6 with the 1, 6, and 7. 3 deep there. Wrap it up in race 7 with 2 horses, the 5 and the 14. Remember, the 14 horse does draw in. No ordinary time for McGahee and Forest Boys. Scratch the 1, Backstreet Gal, and the 8, Traffic Song out of race 7. I'm keying definitely around those two. I definitely think they hit the exacta.
Yeah, definitely pay attention to that 14 drawing in. We'll mention that in just a second because I saw that too. Let's head over to my Rainbow Pick 6 ticket, also starting here in race number 4. I go 3 deep here in race 4, 4, 7, and 8 to get you started. Race number 5, 2, 8, and 9. And then race number 6, I'm starting to kind of tighten things up a little bit. I use the 6 and the 7 there, 5.5 furlongs. The 6, Devilish Affair for Rob Fukelek, my top selection there. The 7, Hufflepuff, hoping that she finally gets a win on board again because, oh, she's so tenacious and she tries every single time. Race 7, I go 3 deep again, 5, 9, and 14, as you said. Definitely keying around that 14 horse, but wasn't as convinced to use her as a single. So decided to go with my best bet on the day, Mata, as a single there on that 5.5 furlongs, because you know what? I think this is an easier field than what he faced at Saratoga. Does he need to return to that top form to win this? No, he doesn't. So even if he bounces ever so slightly, still runs an 80 plus, could be good enough to win here. So I'm hoping that Mata is going to continue his ascension here. And then race 9, the 1, the 5, and the 6. $32.40 Rainbow Pick 6, a little bit cheaper, which is exactly how I like to see it. Try to go deeper in a couple of races, and let's hope I don't get kicked out by a $49 paying horse.
Right off the bat. And I heard Callie had that horse in her selections, maybe
did.
right underneath. It's a great pick, Callie, there with that
pick.
Ferris Allen runner.
Absolutely. Let's dive into race number 4, optional claimant start allowance, mile and an eighth on the beautiful turf here today. Let's start with the horse that both of us use underneath. That is the number 8, Awesome Jazz for Edwin Merriman, Alex Crispin. Let's look back at that last race. You can see him with still plenty of work to do, but does make quite an eye-catching move around. So you can see him there starting to roll. Now, my first thought was, when we did see him taking over once they get into the stretches, did he go too early? Because unfortunately, he ended up just coming short, holding off Kiss the Girls.
Yeah, that was the key for me. Awesome Jazz, Crispin. Yeah, you know, to me, it was a little premature. She was just kind of dragging, but I thought he could have got her maybe made that move a little bit later, just relax and steadily progress. She made a pretty good run up from the start of the backstretch into the far turn. Against a good field, a quality field, she's able to shake free, but unfortunately gets a little bit laboring late, and Kiss the Girl for Trombetta gets up in time. I don't think she needs to be caught quite that wide. Don't move quite that soon. She's shown it to be effective. Short at long, it doesn't even matter. You think she's only 1 for 21 with that ability. Right, she should have a couple more wins under her belt, you would think. But a major player in here. She's going to be a short price off of that race in the stakes race. I go Sally's Mustang. A little bit of a price shot here. 9-2 on your morning line. Scratch the 3, Proper Storm. The blinkers went on, and I like how she kind of chased and didn't chase. She was patient off of a loose leader at Delaware. Tipped out 3 wide and was dead firm to the wire. Her final 8th reminded me like U.S. Constitution's race up at Monmouth a couple of weeks ago. This horse was, I think this horse wants turf, this kind of distance, and the flow that's going to be up front today, it's going to be to her liking. I think she can stretch it a long way in here and maybe get the jump on some of these closers.
Yeah, I use her underneath as well, but I ended up landing on the number 4, Color Crush for trainer Ferris Allen. Kevin Gomez. Now, Ferris Allen had a nice winner yesterday. She just also seems quite unexposed, similar to Sally's Mustang. You know, lightly raced fillies in here. She ran against a full field of 10 at Colonial Downs and just missed after getting in some traffic trouble. She was coming out of the bench. She kind of had to wait a little bit to use that kick. Her kick was delayed, but when she started rolling, she was very, very strong. So I'm hoping that today, with possibly not 10 horses in the race like at Colonial, we do have a big field we do have about 8 in here. 9 with the scratch, 9 horses in here. No, excuse me, 7 horses in here. I'm doing the math backwards in this spot. But at least hopefully she can get a better trip and not get stuck in traffic, so she can actually show us what she can do late.
Stuck in traffic. That was the theme for you this morning.
That was the theme of this morning for me as well. Yeah, exactly.
Welcome the D.C. metro area, right? In Baltimore, we've got a little bit of that. But Color Crush, talking about the horses that she ran against. The winner, Be Up, paired up 73s, Buyer numbers prior, was a Jonathan Thomas runner, only beaten 4 by Out of Sorts. We know her as a key horse. And that 3rd place finisher, Lachine, was a motion horse that broke its maiden at Saratoga. That was a quality field in that A other than at Colonial.
Yeah, so definitely love her in this spot. But wide open fields here on the turf as we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the last couple of races.
Adina Retirement in Aurora, Ontario believes every horse deserves a safe and loving environment. This unique program ensures retired horses are provided a suitable, healthy, and loving home for life after their racing careers are over, and has adopted out more than 400 horses in Canada, has pioneered thoroughbred horse shows, and has been a leader in developing retirement programs throughout North America. The Stronach family is committed to the sport of thoroughbred racing and the grace, spirit, and generosity of the horse.
We continue the turf action here at Laurel Park. Race number 5, 5.5 furlongs, fillies and mares 3 year old and up. Claimers 12.5 to 10,000. And let's start with that video replay because my top selection is part of it as well. Nellysford and Eves, and we're looking back at their effort at Colonial Down. So I guess familiar foes there, and both of them trying their hardest. Eves just got the nod there on Nellysford late, but little separating both.
Absolutely. Onaquai, that's another Figgins horse, if I remember correctly. Yep. Nellysford might be just a tick quicker earlier than Ephus. She's going to have to use that speed to her advantage from the inside. I don't think she wants to get caught really much in traffic. She's shown the ability to come from just off of it, but I think she's really going to be forward in here. Ephus close enough to the flow again today. This is a tightly matched field. You want to look for a little bit more value. I'm going to try at least. I think you've got to key around, the 2 and the 8. They're going to be in that exact, hard to leave out. But I go to something magical. It's Cousin Joan Reynolds. She doesn't run a lot of horses down here anymore. But I tell you, something magical comes in on the turn back and distance. She's a mare that's been able to kind of recover off a bad effort. She bounces back. She comes back sprinting. She's got back sprint numbers that work. She's shown the ability to rally into the pace. I think the pace is going to be hot in here. Got the right kind of rider in Forest Boys to relax and get this horse to finish.
I mean, quite the turn back here, going from those mile races at Colonial to the 5.5 hours. I did look back at some of her sprinting figures and hence ended up using her underneath. Does need to find a little bit of improvement in my books to best some of these, especially over distance that she hasn't run over in quite a bit. But she showed that she's tactical and capable. I don't see her going to the lead, but she'll definitely come with a rally there later. Let's talk about the number 4, who I didn't use at all in here, who you used underneath. Bath and Tennis, veteran mare, run about 36 times and won 4 of those, as well as another 9 times placing or showing. Just, a tough mare. She's going to try. She's possibly going to be able to get a check home. Do I see her winning? Find that one tough.
Exactly. I think she's going to fall into a good trip. And she's got Carlos Lopez riding well. Is going to be able to save ground and find a seam, I think, top of the stretch and bring her in. She's not the horse that she was back in 2020 where she topped a couple big buyers, like an 80, 81. She's not that mare right now. But the flow of this race works to her advantage. I think I'm going to use her in the exactas, no doubt.
Race number 6, fillies and mares 3 year old and up, claiming 16 to 12.5. 5.5 furlongs on the main track. I think 1 of 3 races on the main track today. Both of us a little bit different in our selections. We've seen that throughout the last couple of days. Another testament to these deep fields. We'll start with Butter Pecan for trainer Carlos Mancia. Kevin Gomez. Look, I didn't like what I saw in her last couple. Yes, taking significant crash release, and she has done well at that allowance level before, but I do need to see her return to form.
Yeah, it gets the old unhurried comment by my partner Bill there last time out. A little settled.
What does he mean with that?
That might have been mine. Just settled well back off of it. I thought the horse was going to be closer going a mile. I don't think she's a mile kind of horse. I think she's a sprinter. 5.5, maybe 6 is a little bit better for her, but I like reunited with Kevin Gomez. The drop down here for a tag. There is a little bit of speed to set things up. So if you're going to see one of her top efforts, it's going to come now, because if it doesn't, I think that's not good moving forward. She may be down the ranks, but I like how Gomez is back on here for Mancy and company.
Yeah, I landed on Hufflepuff just because this is a mare that's also look, there's a lot of class droppers in here. This is a field full of horses coming from those starter allowances, optional claiming levels, and one of them, Hufflepuff, she's been running really well with them, just can't seem to get her picture taken. She runs in the money nearly all the time. Is she just one of those horses that never really gets there on time? Possibly, and I'm a little bit wary of that, but I'm hoping that today might be her day.
She's definitely a trier. There's no doubt. She
Yes.
draws outside of some other speed. Last time out, she was inside, and as soon as the kind of eased back a little bit, the field just got away from her, and she could not make up any ground. They're doing the right thing. A little bit frustrating when you get a horse like this. It just knocks on the door,
Yeah.
knocks on the door, knocks on the door. You got to sooner or later take the drop down and try to get the money. This is what I'm sure they're going to try to do with Hufflepuff. She'll be a pace player throughout.
Yeah, and then both of us using number 6, Devilish Affair as well. Forrest Boyce aboard another dropper. I mean, she's run in the 60s speed figures, and that ought to be good enough to win this race if any of the other droppers don't turn up.
Yeah, she's loomed boldly in her last few starts. Not quite finishing up. Maybe 5.5 is the answer with that well-timed run. I'm sure she's going to try to get today.
Yeah, and then I also use Bourbon Wildcat Speedster for the Frog Stable. Jorge Ruiz aboard. Race number 7. Another allowance event here. First level, fillies and mares, 3-year-old and up. 1 mile on the turf. And look, you got to make sure to check your scratches and changes, because the 14 for trainer Shug McGay and Forrest Boyce, a team that just absolutely seems to clean up here on this circuit, draws in.
Yeah, we've got a stat. Do we have a stat?
I do believe we do.
Thought I had a stat yesterday, but that was my bad.
We also have a video, so we'll probably end up on the video first, and then we'll
Okay.
head over to the stats. So
That's
actually, let's
fine.
talk about the number 5 first, which is I Love You. And we just see her there, trainer Gary Capuano, coming with an absolute tenacious rally there. Just misses out, but, you know, what a game mare.
Yeah, I tell you, and she's done so well here off the claim, and she's able to position herself just off of it this particular day at the distance, sits inside, angles out, and really kicks home. The mile distance, I think, is just perfect for her with some speed in here to set things up. Another good trip is in store for I Love You. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was for today's race 7. I'll give it to you right here. McGahee and Forrest Boyce. Last 3 years on the turf, how about this? 34%, 16 for 41 with an ROI of 404. That's good enough.
That is
that wakes you up here.
absolutely terrific.
So
Yep.
no ordinary time, Naomi. She draws in. She comes back with Lasix just over her head in the grade 3 last time. She's going to rally into this.
Yeah, I mean, the moment I saw that she drew into this, I was like, well, okay, they obviously thought so highly of her that they put her into a grade 3, was overmatched, now coming in here at that first level allowance. By virtue of the talent that we hope she has and what she's kind of showed in the past, she'll be able to do that. Look, we got it on screen here. No
There it
ordinary
is.
time over the last 3 years on turf. McGay, Forrest Boyce.
Perfect. I know I'm just
They
all
get
over
it.
the map here today. I'm sorry. You know, Naomi's in traffic, but we've got all these horses, all these races. They're trying to decipher everything. But there you go. That's the combo. And looking back, I had a couple notes out of that Gulfstream Park race. 6th place finisher, was 3rd in a stake 2 starts later. Most recently, a good run down at Kentucky Downs. Quality fields down there. This filly also, Naomi, is a half to graded stakes winners, Current and Weep No More. There's a lot of talent. She's lightly raced. You might see her top effort this afternoon back on Lasix and with flow to target. I'm just keying around the 14 and 5 in my exactas and tries and
Yeah,
multi-race.
I get that. I mean, I include the number 9 Beckon as well, though, for trainer Michael Merrihavy and Toledo. I mean, if they let her, she'll try and use her speed. She's got that form line of Out of Sorts, Adelaide Miss, all backed up very gamely with other top-level performances after. Now, in her last race, tried to steal it on the front and just got nabbed there. But you have to respect her underneath, especially in a race that I'm not certain who else might really, really send. Like, maybe Unshakable You is going to send from the inside, but in general, I think Beckon might just have the jump definitely on the closes for sure.
And Beckon's shown the ability to sit just off of it. You love her running style as an owner. Gets clear, stays out of traffic, and can get the distance, has speed and staying power. Certainly we'll use her in the exacts. I'm going to use the 11, Mining Millie. I think the mile, this kind of race works for her. She'll rally into it at the mile distance. So, yeah, good race. 14 and 5 again are your keys. Ides of March, I think, brings flow. First blinkers last time really improved. An Unshakable You. I think the pace is going to be too much for some of these, and we're going to see those closers come get them.
Race number 8 is our feature race of the day. Optional claimer 2 other than level, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. My single is in here. Let's look at that race from Mata at the Spa, and I do believe that he's faced much tougher on that day. He's ultra consistent. Is he going to bounce from an effort like that? He really had to dug in quite gamely.
Yeah, he's really never run poorly, right? And I think the key for him, you said it, This is a better field. This race at Saratoga, this was a good group. I mean, you're talking about Shecky Sabaz a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was in a Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, right? Hit the board there. Noble Emotion has been steady. These horses can run consistently in the mid to higher 80s on the turf. Worked out a great trip. I think he works out another good trip today. And you look at, I think the key here for Mata, Naomi, he's come back with 2 works. You're talking about a lightly raced 5-year-old, finally going to get back to running another race in a row, 3 races in a row, but showing that he's been able to handle the 2 works since moving forward. He will be Tufton and I from just off the pace.
He's my best bet. He's my single on the rainbow, pick 6. Michael Trombetta, if you're listening, I hope Mata is doing as well as we think he is. As well as, let's talk about Papal Law. Both of us use him underneath. We have a video of his last effort over 5.5 furlongs where he handled that significant cutback incredibly well. That really kind of pricked my ears, thinking, okay, so we got a horse that actually doesn't mind going from the mile and 16 then to the 5 furlong and nearly gets the job done at 12-1.
He is 8 years old. This guy, and we say it all the time, you know, the gamblers, us degenerates. This is a horse that owes me no money whatsoever. He has been so good to me and a couple of the guys up in the press box. This particular day, Wolfsong gets this horse to relax, rate, and finish. You like him sometimes going a mile and 16th. He's kind of like a Beckon, different version, male version, a little bit better. You know, he can carry it and stay around. Versatile horse. I think right back with the flow again. Nothing better comes out. A little bit of speed does come out with the 5.
Yeah.
You know, but Ziggy Mon and I think Noble Commander, things will be certainly honest. That's no good. That's that, guys. We've got a scratch there with nothing better. So we'll see him another day. I think Papal Law, Mata's probably a little bit better, more quality sprinter. But you know, if he has a little bit of a hiccup, maybe Papal Law can pull an upset.
Yeah, and also a bit of an unknown with Ziggyman getting back on the turf. He's ran on it once. He's been posting terrific figures on the main track. Can he handle this switch in surface for trainer Claudio Gonzalez?
Yeah, I think he can. He's in very good form right now, and the road is going to go through him, and I believe Noble Commander going off the claim here for Jamie Ness.
Yeah, final race on the day. Nickel Claimer, normally is a 2 lifetime, 7 furlongs. The distant Keith, you landed on Lifespan. Now, Lifespan is a horse that took a very long time to break his maiden. He is a 1 from 21, but he does love running to pick up a check.
And he got the Miracle Bob that day as well over Cranston's network. Didn't think he got it, but he got it. Yeah, you're getting, again, Allison Nunes will come back with a lot. Bug Rider, horse ran real big first race the other day for her. I have really no faith in anybody in here. If you can basically almost hit the all button, there's lots of ways to go. But I think Lifespan, a little trouble 2 races back, even a little trouble at Timonium, come away a little slowly, just couldn't fire into it. But at the 7/8, this guy's got enough speed to stay within range. I don't think anybody's going to get too far away from him. Zip the lip, maybe Pets Night will go out early, but I think if you're looking at the horse in that maybe 4-1, 5-6-1 range, just Lifespan, they might give you a little bit of a thrill.
Look, why not? Why not? I agree with you. These are all kind of closely matched in that finale. I use Pets Night on top as we'll move on to lightning round. Well, the Stronach 5 did return 3 tickets worth $24,000, $266 and $70 each. I mean, we had a couple of big prices in there.
Absolutely. And when you're looking at it, we talk about the value that the Stronach 5 presents. Parlay was like around $4,000. $24,000 for your bet. If you're not playing this bet, you know, if you got to involve yourself. Something's wrong if you don't like the value this bet brings. So yeah, that was huge, $24,000.
And let's have a look at one of the trip notes that we made on a 2-year-old yesterday. Trust Daddy for Jeremiah O'Dwyer stumbled at the gate and had to make up an incredible, at least 2 or 3 lengths. You can see in there, just wants to get away and really stumbles over his own feet. And you can see, you know, the front runner there, he spots him about 3 lengths.
Oh yeah, just right out of the gate. Maybe even more in the first, 30, 40 yards. He's 6-7 lengths back, I should say, and makes a run. 4 wide, appears to be going on with it, but just had too much to do from that break. And I tell you, I think the future is going to be bright for Trust Daddy next time out. with a clean break should get it done.
He's certainly the one I am betting next time out. A brutal beat there.
Yeah, this is tough.
Ran the best race in the entire field to then get beaten by, what was it, a nose or a head. So let's make sure to be on board when he comes back. Next point, of course, Sheldon Russell did have an unfortunate spill in the last on opening day. You can see him there on Hello Beautiful. Of course, a horse that's given him and his wife, Brittany Russell, so much. And unfortunately, word came out that after he'd been dropped by the Brittany Russell trained runner, a little bit of that was a 2-year-old Maryland bred filly who was fine. The filly was fine, and the pony was fine too. There was just a little bit of a spill there, but that Sheldon did fracture a bone in his foot, and that they'll be looking at seeing a specialist on Monday and hopefully know more by then, because we'd love to see him back soon.
Absolutely. He's had his share, of injuries, and he's bounced back every time and comes back strong. So, yeah, definitely pulling for Sheldon. Hopefully we'll see him back soon.
Yeah, we definitely wish him the best and can't wait to see him back on a horse again. As a mandatory payout at our sister track at Gulfstream Park today in the Rainbow Pick 6, estimated over 2.5 million. Now, if there's one thing we know about Gulfstream Park, is that people support the mandatory payout days incredibly well. If you're looking for some value and a ticket that you want to play and maybe get your friends together, put some more money into it, go to Gulfstream Park today as well. Aside from all the terrific action we have here, that is bound to be a Rainbow Pick 6 sequence that you want to play. So do encourage tuning in to the Gulfstream Park feed as well with our friends Ron Nicoletti, Ashley Mayu over there tipping you winners.
Yeah, hopefully they'll put you onto a few. I'm going to have to, maybe we'll give them a call. Maybe you can give them a shout. I don't have their numbers, but nobody talks to me, but that's okay. But no, we'll have to maybe come up with a small ticket. I haven't really looked at that card. It's tough enough with the races we have at Laurel. But, yeah, when you've got that kind of a payout going, you gotta dive in a little bit. Lady Luck hopefully will be on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all paying attention to Gulfstream Park as well as Laurel Park today. That will do it for us this morning. I'll be back in the afternoon with Calais Francois. And yeah, we'll keep in touch throughout the day, Keith, if we see anything noteworthy. And we'll make sure to let you guys all know which horses we are putting in our little black books and betting next time out.
Absolutely. I like the card today. I like the picks. And again, I talk about it time and time again on the show. We're giving out 4 selections. Seek the value first. Bet a couple dollars to win in place. Box them if you can. We're always going to have something in there that's a decent odd, almost always. So I think that's the way you've got to attack the races at Laurel right now, just the way that they are presenting themselves. Big, wide open fields. You've got to spread around a little bit. I know it takes a little bit, but that's why you get a friend and maybe pair up and team up and hit something big.
Yeah, definitely. Callie had a couple of good horses underneath as well for the exactas. So we'll see how she plays the rest of the afternoon. She'll join me in a little bit. And good luck, everyone who's playing and following Laurel Park today.
You got it. Good luck.